The items on my merchandise page are generally reactions to needs that I have recognized or maybe that I have seen on my channel or on the Mevo customer group page on Facebook. When I say needs, what I mean is things like the cold shoe sleeve that I have designed and printed. It was originally a reaction to hearing and reading that people were needing a way to mount lights or microphones to their Mevo or along with their Mevo. And so this turned out to be one of the easiest, sturdiest, cheapest to produce ways to get other accessories onto a single Mevo mount. As a matter of fact, this past week I was able to mount 2 other Mevo cameras to one of these sleeves because I only had one mounting place at the ballpark, and it really got me out of a bind. I was able to get 3 very good shots, stream that game with all 3 cameras, all mounted to one Mevo cold shoe sleeve. It worked really well. I want to talk about these accessories that I have available for you on my merchandise page. Now, you see that I have the magnetic ball head mount. That's a reaction to a need that I found. I wanted to be able to roll into the ballpark and set up quickly and easily and take down just as easily. I started out using this CCTV mount that I would zip tie to whatever pole would be holding up the fence. And that works really well. But even reusable zip ties are difficult to deal with when it's cold, and I found myself struggling to get those back off when it came time to leave. Having just a magnet mount to stick up to the pole there is a whole lot easier. Now, I still do use a zip tie as a tether, but I just do it loosely so it's much easier to get off whenever I'm ready to leave the ballpark. And I have to admit, nobody was clamoring for a Go Live sticker, but I thought, hey, I'll put it there. If folks order them, great. If not, I'll throw them in the orders of the things that they do ask me to ship out, and they'll get to use them or throw them in the trash, whichever they prefer. Now, looking at the Mevo Start Cold Shoe Sleeve, I do want to walk you through this process a little bit. You see, this design comes off the printer with quite a few strings on it. No printer is perfect, or at least I've never had one that was. And so there's little goops and globs and strings of plastic that are still attached to the design when it comes off of the printer. When you melt plastic at 240 degrees Celsius, it's kind of hard to control, I guess. And so it takes a little bit of processing after it comes off of the printer. Now, this one has been processed well enough that it slides on and off of a Mevo Start without any difficulty. It's designed to go on the back. You can put it on the front if you're not going to use those microphones, but it goes on the back there, slides on very easily, does not get stuck. It slides off just as easily, but it's very secure when it's on there. It's not going to twist and it's not going to bend. It's going to hold whatever it is that you need it to hold in that configuration. I do have a couple of new accessories that I'm looking to add to the page. There's been a lot of talk about trying to protect our Mevo Starts from heat buildup in the summertime, especially when they are in direct sunlight. So I sent a few prototypes out to see if a white printed, white to reflect heat obviously, white printed 2-layer, you can see that it's 2-layer there. The inside layer attaches to the start and then the outside layer is just for protection. If that would be an avenue to get protection from the heat. So the way this is supposed to be is we slide that piece on the front and the much original looking piece on the back so that the entire start is, at least from the top and a little bit from the back, protected from the sun. Now, coming off the printer, these also have a lot of issues. White is even worse than black for me to print, and so it's just difficult to get everything clean. It does take a little bit of cleaning time. I use a Dremel tool with a little bit of a sandpaper wheel on it, and the print doesn't always stick at first, and so it's not pretty, it's not perfect, but if it protects from the heat, I think we may be on to something. And so these will come available for sale in the next week on our merchandise page. And then the last thing that I would like to bring to your attention is the female XLR to 3.5 millimeter adapter. It's this one. I don't have them in my hand yet, so I can't show you a real live picture of what it looks like. I use one down the hill at the church to get my sound from my soundboard into my Mevo every week. It works great. I used it at a remote setup at the high school when we did a community Palm Sunday service last week. It worked great there as well. The ability to take an out from your sound system, run it through this XLR to 3.5 millimeter adapter is really something that's changed the way I run sound into my worship service streams. I can take that complete mixed sound from a soundboard. We do have a mix that's specifically for the stream that we can tune and fine tune as we need to. And then I can add just a little bit of ambient audience noise with one of my older mini shotgun mics, and I have a great mix that can be all mixed right there in the Mevo Multicam app. So it's another option that I would like to make available. If it's valuable to you and you'd like to order it, great, get after it. If not, if that's not something that's useful to you, just scroll on by. I'll admit to you, merchandise makes me nervous. It's one of those things that you want to keep stock, but you don't want to pay to keep stock. It's one of those things that you invest in, but you don't want to invest too much in because then you're sitting on product. But if it can be valuable to you, I'll gladly make it available to you and see if that can't make our streams be that much better.